All right. Howdy. How's it going? Welcome back. Today is day 2. We're going to be finishing up the controller mods. So yesterday had a little bit of a situation. I thought that I did not receive the trigger kit yet. I had no idea. I thought it had just not arrived. Well, my bad. It actually has arrived. It was just in a different box and I wasn't looking hard enough for it. So, no big deal. We're back. So, what I did in the meantime, I went ahead and reboxed up most of everything because I know a lot of you guys are probably going to be tuning in for the first time today. So let's go ahead and cover what we're going to be doing, and we're going to have some fun building some controllers. We're going to talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. I'll answer any tech questions, any whatever questions you have. Just let me know in chat if there's any questions that you have at all. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So you guys know I'm a huge fan of controllers, especially ones that give you multiple different upgrades over a stock controller, like optical buttons, the clicky buttons, you know, adjustable Hall effect joysticks, adjustable hair triggers. You know, I love those. So I need to have that in a controller. And I'd been using this Bytong for a while, and I really love this controller, but I think I'm just too rough on controllers, and I'm getting a little bit of play on this side of the joystick, and it irks me enough to where I wanted to try something else. And you guys had been telling me for the longest time, give the PS5 controllers another chance. And yeah, I did. I totally gave it 100% effort, and I couldn't tell you, man. It's mind-blowing. It's really good. I've gotten used to it now. It feels actually natural. It feels like what it really should. I guess the natural joystick positions right here, just, I don't know, I can rest my thumbs right here. It feels really good. Let me fix my autofocus real quick. I actually had an issue with the autofocus earlier. So let's see if we can get the autofocus back. Manual focus, autofocus. There we go. Okay. I don't know why it did that. I have no idea. So, let's see. Let me make sure the stream is live real quick, because I don't have chat on screen right now, or at least it's not popping up for me. So, let me mute my mic. Okay, stream is good. We're good. I just had to double check and make sure that you guys could see and hear me okay. So if you run into any issues with the stream at all, buffering, lag, delay, let me know. I can fix that on the fly. So let's go ahead and get started. So this box right here, probably not going to use this, but this gives you essentially the grip like the Xbox Elite Series controllers have. You've got the grip on the back here. This would be a really inexpensive and easy mod to do, because if you have a stock PS5 controller and it's just a little bit too slippery for you and you want to add some grip texture to it, get one of these. They're really cheap, and you can pop this on. There's only a few screws holding it in, which you'll see in a second. It's really easy to do this. So if you're looking for something like that, I bought this just so I could see what it looks like. You know, I wanted to feel it. It's definitely not as grippy as what I thought it would be, but it's grippy enough. It's definitely grippy. It's got them grippers. It's got them grippers. All right, so in this box right here, if you watched yesterday's video, or you saw the live or the thumbnail, I had this on this controller right here. I just took it off because I want to show you how a lot of this stuff goes on. And then if you also saw that live stream, you'll see that we installed the Clicky. I don't think it's going to come across on my mic, but hey, what's up, Martin? Howdy, man. Thanks for dropping by, brother. Really appreciate it. Definitely the Clicky kit was a huge bonus. Those fast rapid fire clicks are going to help you in fighting games, in first person shooters, anything where you need to get rapid shots back off on any of these buttons, whether it be the D-pad or the ABXY buttons. That is going to help you significantly. So it replaced the stock membrane with essentially little micro switches for each one of these on a little membrane. You'll see it in a second. It's very easy to install, no soldering, no skill really needed. If you can use a screwdriver, you can do this mod. And I'll have everything linked below after the stream, but if you do go to Extreme Rate's website, you can use my discount code CPPC Tech and you can actually save some money, a pretty decent amount. I don't know the exact discount right now, but I do know that when I added stuff to cart and checked the discount, it was pretty nice. So check there. Shout out to them. They did send some of this stuff over, but yeah, a lot of this stuff is really inexpensive, guys. So if you're looking for cheap, inexpensive mods that don't suck, check them out. I've used a lot of Extreme Rate's products in the past. You guys know the joysticks on the Ally X. Since day one, I was rocking the Extreme Rates. So I do stand behind all their stuff 100%. So it's not just because somebody sends me something that I'm going to shill out for it. If it sucks, I'm not. But if it's good, I'm definitely going to. And if I run into any caveats along the way, I'm going to tell you about them. Just like that grip, the back plate, it's not as grippy as I expected. I don't want to run it. It's nice for some people who just need a little bit of extra grip and they want to keep that stock profile look. It would be a great solution for you, but I was expecting a lot more grip and it just didn't do it for me. Still nice, but I just wouldn't if you want a lot of grip. So in each of their mods, you're going to get screwdrivers, you're going to get extra screws, you're going to get everything that you need, which is great because I lost some screws earlier and that came in handy. I never lose screws, but for some reason just a couple fell, couldn't find them. That came in clutch being able to have those. So the Clicky kit also comes with extra membranes too. So if you run through the membranes, you tear them up, you've got extra membranes. Really cool to see that kind of stuff. Now, on to probably my second favorite mod that we're going to do today. And this is the controller housing. This is the emerald green, I believe it is. It's reminiscent of the old school OG Nintendo 64s. These are just absolutely beautiful. I've already test fitted this and I can tell you it meets 100% of my expectations. This is exactly what I wanted. Perfect. Perfection right here. I have no issues with that. Again, you're going to get screws and tools. You're going to get the plate for the little touchpad. They're going to give you all of the buttons. So look at this. You get the transparent matching buttons. But the cool thing is you don't have to use these. You can mix and match. So if you wanted to use the white buttons with this, which I'm definitely going to look in to see how it looks, might be interesting. I don't know. We'll check it out in a minute. But then they give you the thumbsticks. So like you're going to get the whole kit and caboodle when you order one of these housing kits. Now, before you order anything for your controller, wait till I take mine apart, because I'm going to show you how to make sure that you get the right stuff for your controller, because there are a few different types of controllers when it comes to the PS5s. I did not know this at first, so it's something I learned rather recently, but it is something that I will admit I did not know. So let's go ahead and set this box aside, because some of the mods are interchangeable, like the buttons and the joysticks and, you know, some of the more basic mods. But there's certain things like the Clicky button kits, they are 100% different on each one of them. So, Damien, what's up, brother? Have I tried the DualSense Edge? No, I really want to. I just don't really, I don't know. I know the price was kind of prohibiting me from buying it at first, and I didn't have as fond of a love with the PS5 controllers as I do now. This is more of like a recent acquired passion. So I want to try a DualSense Edge. I probably will keep an eye out on some open box deals at Best Buy or something, because I could get the warranty with it and I don't have to worry. That would be the place that I would want to buy a first party controller from, is Best Buy, because their in-house warranty is much better than having to send your controller off and wait for a replacement. You can go spend 10-15 bucks on the freaking warranty, and then you bring it up there broken to pieces and they give you a brand new controller. It's really great. We've used them a lot on our Xbox controllers. Can find a new one when you're ready and need it. Yeah, how much are you seeing them for, man? I haven't even, kept up with the prices or anything, so like, for all I know, they could be cheap enough to where I don't really have to worry, but I know for a while I saw them close to 200 bucks when they first came out. All right, so this is the micro switch trigger kit. This is the kit that I am most excited about because I told you guys earlier, triggers that, where did my controller go? Okay, triggers mean everything to me. I honestly cannot begin to tell you how big of a difference having shorter, quicker triggers can be for you when you're playing a first-person shooter game. It's a game changer. It really is. So you bought one new for 75 bucks? That's crazy. Dang. What's up, X86? How's it going, bud? So, summarized all the mods that we have on the table so far. We got the trigger kit. We're gonna get those hair triggers. Yeah, appreciate it, X86. I'm feeling a little better today. It's been kind of rough this week, headache and just feeling tired as usual, but I feel like I had like a little burst of energy last night, so I went live and started working on this stuff. Had the headache, I couldn't sleep. I got maybe like a few hours of sleep, but yeah, we're here for it. We're gonna just have fun and hopefully not melt my brain. All right, so this is, I hope all you guys are doing well too. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. So check this out, guys. So here's the thing with most controllers that are first party, like PS5 and the Xbox 360 and the Elite Series controllers. What's up, Killer K? Welcome back, man. So the joysticks on these are soldered in, and it's kind of a tricky installation. Good, man. Glad to hear. It's kind of a tricky installation because you have to desolder these really, really, really good, or you'll rip the pads, and you have to take your time. You need a good soldering station for this. I'll show you guys. I'm gonna do this, not today, but the joystick mod is going to be saved for last because I need to have a steady hand, I need to have a clear head, and I need to make sure that I do this right, or you will ruin your device. It is risky. It's about an hour-long mod, so stay tuned for that. But here's the kicker. Here's the cool thing about it. Because if you just change the joysticks out on those and that's all you did, you might run into some issues from what everyone is saying. Because the calibration data is stored on the controller board itself. So what Extreme Rate has done is they've got a little PCB overlay that you solder on top of the board, and then you run this little wire, and it basically reprograms it. It gives you a little built-in memory here, essentially, and you can combine certain buttons and get into the flashing mode to reset all the calibration data and to program your calibration data in there, because not every set of sticks is going to be exactly the same. Not everyone's angle is going to be exactly the same. So when you install Hall Effect joysticks on controllers, no matter what it is, you typically have to calibrate them. Just there's a lot of variables that go into those. So they thought of that, and they have this. It's a pretty advanced mod, like I said. I hope I don't mess it up, but you know, that's something that the DualSense Edge has an advantage of, is those joysticks can just pop right out from what everybody says, and you can just upgrade them and go about your business. So that's something we'll explore, but probably not today. Maybe if we have time, I might. But they also give you the thermal shielding and a lot of other stuff too. So yeah, you got everything you need except the soldering kit. So that's going to be the really advanced mod. DualSense Edge R1 and L1 were more clicky. Actually, I think Extreme Rate has a kit for that. I would have to double check, but I'm pretty certain they do. And I would strongly recommend it because after trying just the ABXY clicky buttons, their switches are top tier. I'll let you know immediately after I put these in if it's going to be worth it or not, because they're going to be using the same type of stuff. All right, so let's go ahead and start breaking this thing down. All right, so some water. All right, to hydrate, man. So when you take apart the controller, pretty straightforward where you start. Come right down here, take your thumbnail, pop in there, pop that out. Pop that out just like that. Then you're gonna slowly come in here, work your thumbnail so I can get it to focus. There you go. You slowly work it up, but be careful because it tucks in right here on each side, which is pretty unique. So we'll pull that out at an angle and you can see how it goes back in. It just slots back in like that. So just be careful when you're pulling these out. There are little clips that retain it in there. So just be mindful of those clips. If you break one or two of them, it's not a huge deal. It's still going to stick on there really well. And these things are really inexpensive. So if you do break it, it's not the end of the world. But keep in mind, you've got these little tabs down here as well. So just, you know, be mindful of what you're doing and how you take it apart and kind of study it and look at it. So down here, we're going to have two screws. Let's see if I can get that in focus. There you go. We're going to have two screws right here. And then we've got two screws hidden underneath the left and right bumper buttons. Now these are stick-on overlays that I bought off of Amazon, and these haven't came off. The top left and right bumper, but the bottom ones for the triggers, they had like the extended little curve to them, and they were great. I love them, but they came off pretty quickly. So may have been a skill issue. Maybe I didn't clean it good enough. Didn't get all the oils and grease off, but yeah. So to pop these out, you just take it to one corner, and then you can kind of pull it back to the center and pull out. There's no screws or anything holding it in. It just kind of pops in, pops out, wax on, wax off. So there you go. Just like that. Really easy. These come off real easy. And then you've got two hidden screws right here. So let's go ahead and get those out. And remember where your screws go. So I'm going to take these and I'll put them up at the top over here, and I'll kind of remember where they go, hopefully. Hey, what's up, Boosty? Welcome back, man. Welcome back, guys. Hope everyone's doing well. Thanks for tuning in on this fine, fantastic Friday. How's the weather where everybody is? It's hot here. It's like, I don't know how hot. I think it's like probably close to 100. It's pretty hot. It's been blazing hot. Actually, speaking of, I'm gonna turn on my fan. This fan, I'm telling you, it's amazing. You're not even gonna be able to hear it when I cut it on. It's that quiet. I love this fan, man. This is just, it's my favorite. It's a game changer. It really does keep my office cool. I've never had a ceiling fan that has been quiet and cool. It just, those two don't usually go together. So don't be, yeah, don't be a screw. It's 2 a.m. This time it's not 2 a.m. Oh yeah, thank God. It's 6 p.m. here. A few screws loose. I think all of us do, man. I think all of us do. All right, so let's get this out right here. Okay, so there we go. Now this is pretty easy right here. What you're gonna do, you can start with this little clip here and just kind of push it in right there or pull out, really. You're going to pull out, yeah, so you're going to pull that out and release this area. And then what I like to do is just pull it right here. Gently, just to get it started. Then you're going to take right here and just start wiggling. Hold down this piece right here. Just kind of wiggle a little bit at a time, and there you go. And eventually it'll just pop out like that. It's pretty easy. It's pretty easy. So this foam pad right here, remember they did give you these foam pads. So when we put the controller housing back together, we're going to emulate everything that we see. We're going to put that foam pad right in there. So this is going to be able to be set aside. Now the first thing you're going to want to do is, of course, remove the battery. Duh, come on. Unless you want to get shocked. So when you're removing the battery cable, I do recommend putting your thumb right here and pressing in as you pull out. But try not to pull in the battery cables if you can help it. Try to get your thumbs or your fingers in there and pinch with your pinchers. Pinch the little battery cable connector right here and wiggle it if you can. And that is a much safer way to remove battery cables, because if you yank from the cable itself, you actually risk ripping it out of it, and it won't be a good day for you. You'd have to buy a new battery, which they're cheap. No harm, no foul. That's really the cool thing about modding controllers, is like you could find the replacement parts. So if you break something, it's not a big deal. You could find a replacement part for super cheap. All right, so the next thing you're going to want to do is to remove the screw right here for this battery tray. But first, go ahead and take this little microphone doohickey thing, pull it out. Would be best to use tweezers if you got them. It's not necessary, but it does help. So, you know what? We're going to try this first. There we go. We're just pulling out the ribbon cable. That's how it comes out. It's not going to break. It's just the mic anyways. If you break it, no big deal. I don't use a mic. So now let's remove this screw. And your battery tray. Keep the little screw right there with it. That'll make it a lot easier. Go ahead and take the microphone. So now you're going to remove the rest of the ribbon cables. Got a left and a right side for your triggers. You've got a ribbon cable for the front buttons. And then normally you would have the rumble motors connected here, 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 and here somewhere. But I disconnected them because I don't use rumble motors. And I do plan to remove these for some extra weight reduction. But for now, I just disconnected them because it actually makes getting this board out easier. Now, remember earlier, I told you that there's different board revisions. So once you have gotten to this step right here, you see where it says BDM 010. That right there is the model number of this particular controller. Now they have 020, 030, and maybe a few others. I think they might even have 4 or 5 now. But the revision is basically going to be something you will need to know before you buy some of the electronic parts and electronic upgrades for this, just to be on the safe side, because some of them might operate a little differently. So to remove this ribbon cable right here, I'm going to come in there like that. I'm going to get this light moved over. See if that helps any. Maybe that helps. I don't know. I needed a little bit more light over here and it doesn't seem to help any. Yeah. Maybe, just maybe. There we go. I think that's better now. I think that's better. All right, so back to the controller. Now that we have a little bit more light, it's probably going to be glaring on the motherboard, or the PCB, but it's no big deal. So now we're going to remove this ribbon cable. Got both of those removed. Now this ribbon cable, you can just pinch it on the outside, or you can use some good tweezers to help you aid in pulling it out. I can't get a good grip with these tweezers. They're too small. So I'm going to just grip and rip this blue tab right here. I'm going to try to pinch it with my fingernails and wiggle slowly. And there we go. Now it popped out. Pretty easy. You don't have to have tweezers for a lot of this stuff, but it does help if you have some flathead tweezers or a couple different types. So keep that in mind. You don't have to, but it is recommended. So now that we don't have to worry about the connectors for the rumble motors, we could just pop this controller board right out. We can kind of wiggle it out of here eventually. It's not wanting to come out too well right now. There we go. Now the controller board is out. So right now, if you wanted to change out your thumbstick caps with like those emerald green ones right here, you would basically just pull these off and you would slide on the new ones. I'm not going to do that because that's really self-evident how to do it. I don't want to move these again because these are very, very snug. They are very snug. And one of the caveats, you guys know I tell you about every caveat, always. I really am big about that. So these joysticks are really good, right? They're amazing. They've got great grip. But some people don't press them down far enough because it does feel a little like it's bottomed out already. You know what I mean? You're pressing it down. You're like, okay, it's reached the bottom. I don't have to go any further. So what's going to happen is if you don't push these down far enough and you put your controller back together, it's no big deal because you could put it, you can actually fix this while the controller is put all the way back together anyways. You can still press it down further. But what's going to happen is you might feel some resistance. You might have the plastic hitting the joystick itself right here. So kind of keep that in mind. And all controllers, when you're putting them back together, it's a possibility. It happened with a lot of people on the Ally X, happened with people on the Ally. It happens. So you have to check the height of your stick and make sure it's actually going down all the way. And I know it feels scary, but sometimes you have to just put it back together, try it. If it rubs, push down a little bit more. So you don't want to just push straight through the joystick and break it, but you want to put a little force on it essentially. All right, so I digress. We'll set this aside. We're not going to need that anymore for right now. So what we need to do now is take apart, normally there would be two screws right here, these two silver screws, but like I said, I've already been in this controller before and I forgot to put these back in there. But it's these nuts right here, or screws really. So these screws would normally be right here and right here. So just keep that in mind. You'll need to remove those. But since I'm an idiot and I just slap things back together without screws, hey, it's no big deal. Hell, I wouldn't mind the ultimate monster be with the captive joysticks. Wouldn't the ultimate monster be with the captive joysticks? Honestly, I haven't seen those. Let me look that up. That's actually interesting. Captive joysticks. So what would you use those for? Like, give me an example of what I would benefit. Like, what game would be like something cool to try those out with? So let me see. Stream rate captive joysticks. I'm looking that up now. Okay, so higher resolution, so much more precise. Are you talking about the new Hall Effect joysticks? Because I have those. We just haven't got to those yet. I'm looking for... I don't see anything that's labeled captive joystick. The only thing I see is the new Hall Effect kit. X-Hall calibratable Hall Effect thumbstick kit for PS5 controller. Yeah, I don't. They're called captive joysticks. They're not magnetic. Huh. I mean, I'm gonna see if I can find them, because if they have them, I'll definitely get some. Let's see, PS5. Is it for the regular PS5 controller, or is it for the Edge maybe? Let's see, PS5 custom upgrade kits. Thumbstick drift repair kit. Can you drop a link in chat maybe? Because I even went to Google and I couldn't pull up anything. Motherboard is a new controller that they have a good description. Okay, so let me look up Motherboard then. Motherboard controller. Cuban 2. Oh, okay. That's an Xbox controller. So those wouldn't be anything you could do to a PS5 controller. Those are yeah, that's just branding. That right there, that captive joystick, it's basically just a TMR joystick. I'm like fairly certain, like 90% certain it's just a TMR Hall effect joystick. Captive joysticks, capacitive joysticks. Okay, capacitive. So let's see if they precision capacitive joysticks. So they're adjustable. Okay, so that's cool. They're actually giving you adjustable joysticks. Yeah, that would be very useful. I would like those actually. So mechanical Hall triggers, capacitive. Okay, I was saying captive. My bad. I'm an idiot. My bad. Yeah, so these are basically going to just be these right here. So these are on the Byton KP40, and you can adjust this right here, and it will adjust the tension of them, and then it can make it feel a whole lot different. It changes the feeling a ton. I don't think anyone has made any for the PS5. If they do, I'll try them out, because I'm a huge proponent of those. But I'm glad you brought that up, because they do offer different resistances with the springs that they have inside of here. They've got different gram weights. That is something that I got the highest one that they had. Now it does feel a lot stiffer, in my opinion, like right off the bat. I'm gonna remove this. I know I said I wasn't going to, but let's try it side by side. Oops. That came off. Okay, so yeah, it's a lot smoother. And it has a lot more resistance, especially the outer edge is a whole lot smoother, but it feels a lot more springy. Like you actually can feel the pushback on it a lot more. Like it's definitely a tighter spring inside of here. So it's not a huge difference, but it's noticeable enough. And it definitely feels pretty smooth. So I'll try these out eventually and we'll see how they are. I don't know when I'm going to get to those, because it's a lot more advanced than I'm willing to do today. I'd have to break out the soldering iron, and I would have to break out my reflow station, and I would have to break out so much stuff to be able to do it safely and to not mess it up. So that's cool. I'll check into those, man. Thanks for showing me something new today. Learn something new every day, I swear. So many new controller technologies coming out that it is so hard to keep up with. It's really cool because we've made so many leaps in controller technology over the past like year. It's mind-blowing, because a few years ago the best in the business was the Xbox Elite Series controllers. And now they're kind of like the worst. Like they have the worst history with reliability. They have terrible, horrible joysticks. that will drift very quickly, and then you've got issues with latency. They're just not great. Uh-oh, stripping a screw here. That ain't good. I need to find my other bit. I've got a much bigger bit that I normally use, but I lost that bit the other day. I think it fell underneath my desk. I don't want to look for it, so I'll just YOLO it. All right, where did that other screw go? Oh well, it'll be okay. They gave us extras. No big deal. Like I said, we got extras in there. K-Silver J16 is capacity. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm familiar with the K-Silvers. That's cool, man. Thanks. Okay, so once you get these screws out for the rumble motors, you will have already done that, essentially, if you were going to remove the entire motherboard, because these are going to be soldered to that board, so you will have to remove all that at once. But if you want a little bit of a cheat sheet, and you got a soldering iron handy, and you want to make things a little bit easier on you, you can just snip those wires and then resolder them whenever. It's something that I don't like rumble anyways, because it actually messes with your accuracy. I just don't use it. I don't use rumble at all. Maybe on certain racing games, but I have a completely different controller and setup for racing games. So I don't know. I don't feel like I would be missing out. So now that you've gotten to this point, you need to remove it just like that. Remember, you took your top screws out. You got these screws over here. You're going to just slowly pull this out like that. Now you're going to see here the Clicky button kit that I put on the front. Remember, we swapped out that membrane. We swapped out this membrane right here for this. So instead of having essentially these little doohickeys here pressing on there and giving you that mushy feeling, we now have actual switches, and they're clicky. So every time that we press down with this, we're actually pressing a switch and we're not pressing a membrane. So you're going to get faster inputs. It's going to feel a lot more positive, a lot more tactile. This is what all your high dollar controllers have now, and even budget controllers have them. Like these budget controllers, Chinese budget controllers, a lot of them have those clicky ABXY buttons, clicky D-pad, and all that good stuff. So yeah, there's that. If you want to watch the VOD, go watch it. You'll be able to see how I did this. Instructions are also up on their website, but it's very, very, very easy. So now we're going to move this around to the back, and we're going to start to remove the trigger modules. So there are no screws on the bottom. Everything is right here on this top part. So you're going to go ahead and loosen these two screws. We're going to do one at a time. Set that aside here. All right. Dropped. PlayStation button. One of them. Play pause, one of them things. Set that back. Okay. We can set that there. Now let's go ahead and start on the trigger kit. So they give you extras also. Also, there's Hall Effect TMR joysticks that are hot swappable, like DualSense Edge. Yeah, I've seen those. Those are really neat. I really love to see that kind of stuff. If you can hot swap them, that is a huge deal. That is a huge deal. All right, so inside of this kit, you're gonna have two of the kits in here for the left and the right. They're both the exact same, so don't worry if you mix them up. We'll get to that in just a second. I'm going to show you what's included. Now you also get this little kit here. Looks like you're going to build a model car with some of this stuff. You've got one for the left side and one for the right side. It's So we're going to just set those there. They're going to give you extra little pieces. So if you end up breaking them or losing them, you've got these. So I'm trying to remember. Let's see. So we've got left and right. So right now we are doing the left. So let's go ahead and take one of each of these off. Wait, that says right. Ugh. All right, so we'll set that there then for the right side. And we'll get the left side out. Okay. We got the left side here. Throw the extras there. Just break these off. You don't have to have snippers, but if you do, it does help. Ah, that's interesting. So there's one labeled 1L and one labeled 1R. Okay, so I'm guessing all the left have the left on them. So 2L, 1L. Hope to see something like this on a flexible controller like this. Huh. Haven't heard of that. Okay, so we have this. Set that there. Now you're gonna take your controller apart now, or the joystick, the trigger. Man, brain doesn't want to brain today. Okay, so over here there was screws. You have to remove this, this, and this first. So let's see if I can get this in the camera. There we go. This, oh, right there, and that. So these 3 screws. So glad they give you screwdrivers in here. Makes things a lot easier with these smaller screws because these are very tiny and you don't want to strip them out with too big of a bit. Alright, so I'm going to take that. Now pull this cap off of here, I believe. Am I tripping? Oh, I'm missing a screw over here. So now is where tweezers would come in handy. Pulling this blue ribbon cable off of here and trying not to scratch that PCB is pretty ideal. But you can come in here and just kind of wiggle it. And eventually it will come out. You can also get in here with the tweezers and kind of pinch it and pull back. But like I said, my tweezers right now kind of suck. But there we go. So that's the other screw I believe was holding us back. Let's see if that does it. And these are all the same screws, so you don't have to worry about mixing up those. Okay, now we're cooking. So you remove this piece. Okay. So now inside of here, you've got this little piece, then you've got another little gear under it, and then you're going to eventually remove this rod here. So right now we're going to line this up, I believe they said, all the way to the left. Not mistaken. So yeah, move everything all the way to the left. And should just pop off. There we go. We're going to set that down just like that. Now we're going to take our gear set and we're going to gently set it down in the exact same spot. I don't know if it matters, but I'm being careful here. So now you're going to take this out. Your little metal rod here, just push down essentially and pull back. Just kind of hold it all together. Set the rod down just like that. Take your trigger, just kind of gently bring it out towards you. There is a spring in here. I believe the spring is captive, so that's good. We'll just set the trigger part there. And now you're going to remove this ribbon, cable, and module button set right here. Terrible with nomenclature, but you get what I'm doing. So right here, some tweezers will be handy to move this till you can pull it out. Just kind of wiggle. And the little PCB should, there we go. PCB comes right out. That's what we're replacing. So we're replacing the little membrane set here. So we're gonna take that and put it in the box for safekeeping. And now we're going to take this right here, and you will not need a membrane anymore as far as I remember. But let's put it back together and see. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you do need the membrane. So goes in there only one way. I think. Alright, so I know it's got to go this way. Yeah, here we go. Okay, now we're cooking. Alright, so you bring this little connector here. Let's see if I can get this out of the way. You bring this little connector to this spot right here. You're going to push it down into place. And then you're going to take this and wiggle it around and get it to focus. There you go. You're going to wiggle it around and you're going to seat it down in this area. So it's kind of tricky. You'll have to just work it until it gets seated in there just right. It is a little bit of a pain, not gonna lie. I'm probably also doing this wrong, so let me remove that and try from this angle. It's not super easy, but it's also not super hard. Now, I have no idea if something is up here. It kind of feels wrong. Oh, okay. I see what's going on here. The angle will throw you off. So, it dropped. Okay, so the angle is going to throw you off. I was trying to seat it in there where the button was going to be like perfectly aligned, but no, that is not what you do. You have these little edges right here. Let's see if I can get it to focus. This is actually a really good tip that I wish I would have known, because the instructional video I saw did not say this, but this, come on, focus. There we go. So right here behind this gold pin, and then over here, there's like these little indentions where it's going to fit and slot in essentially perfectly. So let me see if I can get this to line back up. Because once it drops in place, it's going to be a snug fit. I can tell you that. This is the most fiddly mod, but it's going to be rewarding. Alright, so come on. Oh, we're getting somewhere. Maybe. Maybe not, actually. Oh, there we go. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Yes. Alright. We might be in business. Yes, there we go. We got it. Alright. That is a pain. Alright. So it's got to click in on the back side also. So it took a lot of finagling to get it in there. But you can see it's meant to be crooked like that. And that was throwing me off. So here you can see it's not straight. And that's designed that way. So you can see the little lips right there. And yeah, right there. It's hard to see with the light, but trust me, they're there. And then it fit back in this groove here. And then now we'll be able to take this and push it down. And then for the other hair trigger button, let's see. All right, that's also got to fit down in here. Definitely very, 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 very fiddly, but fun. Still a fun mod. Okay, so this is going to... guessing... go in there like that. I'm confused. I'm so confused. Let's pull up the video real quick because I do not recall seeing that at all. All right, so go to my watch history because I watched this thing twice and I did not see it. So triggers
just fall into place where it came out of.
Okay, so let's pull up this. So window capture. And I'll unhide that so you guys can see what I'm looking at here. Okay. So we're going to watch how he fits this in here. I see it looks a little different than mine. So that's a little disconcerting. Like I said, different versions have different parts. So this is a 020 and mine is a 021. So I'm probably going to have to look up the 010. Yep, we're going to have to look up the 010. 010. Trigger kit. Okay, so we'll watch extreme rates. There we go. Those are the ones that we have. Okay, so Clicky trigger installation guide. Here we go. Okay, to make the installation easier, you can pre-bend and fold the ribbon cable. And see, that I did not know because I watched the other guy's guide thinking that these were essentially going to be very close. Okay, so he puts... Okay. So we're going to be getting rid of that. I'm going to watch the rest of this really fast so we can see. So the right button is going to pop in right there. So that's pretty easy. So let's look at that one more time. So the right button, let's go ahead and do this. Actually, I'm gonna minimize this as much as I can. It's really janky. Really janky. Okay, so we're going to be upgrading to these triggers, so now will be a good time to go ahead and grab these triggers. So we're going to do the right first, but I'm going to go ahead and at least get the left and the right out. All right, so right side, L1, L2, R2. Okay, so he is using... Well, come on, go back. All right, so that little hook part right there. So that's R2, I believe. That is not the right one. We are going to need the other R, which is the R1. So R1, that looks more like it. All right, so he's fitting that down into there. Is that right, though? It doesn't feel or look right. So that's odd. That's one thing I was not expecting. That to be a little bit different. I think I'm having a user error here. Let me go back and watch this guy one more time. See, this is the part that... Okay, here we go. All right, so L2 button. All right, so he's using R2 and 1R. R2 and 1R. That's what I have in my hand. Yep, that's what I have in my hand. Okay, so he's got that little piece there, I believe, at this angle. Okay, so it just feels wrong, but we're going with it. It doesn't fit flush. It doesn't feel right. Something doesn't feel right, but whatever. Okay. Maybe that's right, but that part right here is not fitting down all the way at all. So maybe he's got it up one more notch. And it's still not right. So maybe that's it. Maybe it has to go over one. Is it? Well, they did a lovely job with these instructions. That is still not giving me... Make sure the black bracket is tightly close to the button. Okay, yes, I can see that. But when I try to fit that down, it stopped. It will not go down any further. It's literally impossible unless I bend something out of the way, which I don't think they're wanting you to do. So that lip does need to go right here. That is really odd. Nope, that ain't it. Needs to go up one. Yeah, I don't trust this. Something's off. Okay, so that was truly how I'm doing it here. 1R. Got the same deal here. Let me try the other one. Maybe there's just something going on with that part. Maybe it wasn't stamped out just right, you know? Maybe something's up. Sometimes plastic can have an issue. And cut the music back on, I guess. Getting frustrated. Alright, so let's try this again. But you know what? Let me try the black trigger first. Because in the event that that thing is wrong, so I'm gonna do the left one. 1R. 2. Look for the 1L. 1L. Pulling that down like so. Yeah. We might have something going on with that trigger. Maybe the tolerance wasn't just right. Unless there's something I need to transfer over. Is there something inside of here? No. They both have all the same. But there is a slight difference. There's definitely a difference here. So I don't know. That is very peculiar because these two, let me show you. You might can see the differences. So I can hold it in my hand. There's very subtle differences with these. And I'm sitting here trying to remain calm because I want to make this work. So let me look back again. So we've got the L2. R1, L2. So it's just like something inside of here is completely different. And I honestly don't know why. Let me... Look up housing kit. Maybe there's something going on with these that's different. So I'm watching the tutorial again. This is a completely different one. Oh. So what is different? Ah. Oh man. Oh, I'm so dumb. You guys see this? I am so cooked. I am absolutely fully regarded right now. I feel so dumb. I feel absolutely dumb. So there's two different versions right here. There's a BDM 010 and an 020, and that's what the 1 and the 2 are for. So we need to find the 1. Let's try to find the 1 again. We got the 1R. And I mean, maybe this is the one I tried, but we're going to go with it here. So let's get the right button, or the right trigger. Yep, right trigger. Let's try it out again. I don't know. I feel like this is the one I tried earlier, but who knows? It's so odd because it seems like I could make it fit. But for some reason it's just not wanting to go in there. Alright, so I already know about those. The R1 little buttons. These have to go right here. I know about those. At least. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Ugh. Fail. Okay. Okay, it's gotta go up. See if it's gonna work this time, because it wasn't working earlier. It just pops. Oh, there we go. Okay. Ah. I wasn't pushing in far enough. Okay, so we got those. Let's get these. Okay. Roll it up. The right arrow here. Perfect. Okay, so that part's done. Now we need to get these. So which one are they going to do first? Or did they already do these, actually? I think they already did these. Yeah, they already did these. I feel so dumb right now. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna need the BDM 010, the ones. What's up, Gamer B Tech, man? How's it going, brother? Dude, have you ever done this before? The Clicky trigger kit for the PS5? Dude, check this out, man. I'm having a big dilemma here. These triggers are not fitting with the kit that they sent over. The 1R is not lining up, and that's supposed to be the ones for those. But you know what? Let me try the 2R, because, you know, maybe the housing is a 2R, but I was following the instructions for mine. But check this out. If I put the 1R right where they say to put it, let me unpause that video. You see, they're telling you to put it right here, and it clicks into place. It's not clicking into place because there's nowhere to actually click it into place. Like, it stops right here. Like, it's impossible because it's blocked. I would have to cut that and snip it off. So 1R does not work. But what about 2R? Maybe just maybe it's because the buttons they sent me. Oh, look at that! The controller housing they sent me is for a 2.0. So, okay, well, that's good to know. So now let's actually see if it'll work, though. I was curious to why that was not fitting, and now I know. It's a 2.0 housing, so maybe we'll be good. Maybe everything is the same, except the stuff that's not. I don't know. I'm figuring this out as I go along, guys. As you can see, I did watch the tutorials, trust me, but that was not clear. As you can see, it was not clear. So let's get this back in place. All right. Yep, sure enough, that 2L, it just fits right. It just works. So there we go. That explains that. Now we can get this installed and we should be good to go. We should be cooking. Let's resume our video here so we can see the rest. I remember they did a weird little bendy thing. There we go. So you've got the little tilt the button to slide it in under the latch, then firmly, or press down firmly. I cannot read. Okay, so let's see how they've got this. That orientation is looking like that, and then that's looking like that. And I'm right. What do you know? We need to uh-oh. Feels a little sketchy. That felt sketchy. Trying to bend this in without breaking it. Oh god, that feels so bad. Why does that feel so bad? I feel like I'm gonna break it. I'm pretty sure I will break it, to be honest. I'm not a fan. Not gonna lie, I'm not a fan. So that is extremely tight. Trying to put a little bit more pressure on it. Man, that's sketch, bro. Okay. I'm trying to bend this without breaking it. And oh my god, I literally think I'm going to break it. I'm like 90% certain it's going to break. Let me watch this video. This is not... Okay. How did they just slot it in there like it was magic? Like, I mean, these guys just flew in there like it was nothing. He just went wow, and it was in. And I'm just like, okay, that's not how mine went, but okay. All right, let's try it one more time. Still not lightning fast like theirs is, but it just doesn't feel right. Oh god, I don't like this. How? All right. It's in, but I don't have a lot of confidence that it's going to actually work. I mean, it's in, but I can tell you that doesn't look good. Right here in these corners, right there in the corners where they mount in and they clip in place, you're gonna have to be super careful with that, because I honestly don't know if it's going to actually work or not. I really don't know. If it does, it'll be a miracle. So we watched that part get fed in there. Gonna put the gear back. Figure out how the gear went back in. There we go. Then this was back here somewhere. Yeah, I don't remember. So I think we still have to mess with the trigger first. Oh, we've still got that flopping. We still got that flopping. Okay. So now we're going to go for the trigger. So this is our left trigger. So we got that flopping. Let me see. What did I miss? I feel like he put a membrane in there, but he didn't. Trigger must be assembled. So what is this going to click? Oh, I see. Okay. All right, I'm following. Okay, so let's put the rod back in there. Maybe we're getting somewhere. Putting the rod in. Putting Dennis Rodman in. Oh, what I dropped. Dropped the gear set. No big deal. Okay, so... Oh, and they're using different screws. Alright. It's definitely a little trickier than it looks online. I can tell you that. I watched this thing twice and it looked so much easier. Flex cable. Yeah, this is not fun. Alright, so we're gonna go putting this back together now. So I think we'll be able to put this back on now. So let's try for this. Trying to figure out how to put that back, and of course I did it in the wrong order. Holy crap. There we go. Alright. Yes. Alright, so we finally got that thing in. Now we can come around, push this into place. Let me move this out of the way. I'll pause that video. Probably gonna need it again, unfortunately. Okay, so we're gonna basically put this back under here. Gonna kind of lift that up, I'm assuming. Yeah. 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 Maybe not. Maybe. Yes. Feels wrong, but we're doing it. Oh my gosh. It's supposed to have clicked into place by now, and I don't honestly know why it's not, but it's like something is blocking me as I'm moving. It's getting caught. It's getting caught on something. Well, probably gonna break this ribbon cable pretty soon. That'll be cool. I'm about to break something. Seriously about to break something. And I am using the aftermarket one that they gave us. Unless there's a left and a right side for that. Or maybe it's because they sent me the one for the other kit. I don't know. Something ain't right. I guess let me watch this thing again for the 15th time in a row. Alright, honestly, tell me what I'm doing wrong. I know you guys have got to have followed along. What in the world did they do differently? Because I followed every bit of this. Yep, did that, did that. Now we're taking our trigger. Trigger must be inserted from the bottom. So maybe it didn't catch in the spot that it needed to. That's the one possibility that I would say is the likely culprit. Maybe, just maybe I need to reseat it. Okay, so trigger assembly. It looks just like how I have it. Okay, so it literally looks just like how I have it. Yep. It literally looks just like I have it. So I'm gonna put this in here at the bottom. Gonna roll that down. The spring. Is that it maybe? Is this spring? No, that's... Oh my gosh. What am I even doing wrong here? Like, it's not... Okay. Let's try that one more time. Maybe... Huh. Now it doesn't want to actually go back in place, but maybe that's as far as it's supposed to go. I don't know. I'm sure you guys are tired of watching this. I'm tired of doing this. Okay. So he pops that in, puts the rod in, goes down, it clicks, or it moves. Is he checking fitment? Oh, hold up. Did he just leave the entire gear assembly out? Is that what this is? Is that really what they did? They didn't... Are you kidding me? Did I not catch that part? Okay, so look at this. That fine little print down there at the bottom. I cannot even begin to make that out. I'm gonna have to play it, move the mouse, and wait for it to come up on screen because the progress bar blocks what I need to read. Oh my god, this is ridiculous. I would have never saw that because I had my progress bar on the entire time because I was literally just hovering my mouse over it and it was blocking me. Okay, so in the next step, the cover plate, selector gear, disc, conductive rubber, flex cable are no longer needed. Please store them. Let me freaking screenshot that. And of course it's HDR and it gave me a whack screenshot. But yeah, so that would have been great to know ahead of time, which I don't know why I didn't, but oh well, we're here. We're here and we are frustrated. This has been not fun. Let me get some music back playing again. Okay. So now that I've fought with this thing for however long, we also don't need this, it said, which... Did he give you another ribbon cable? I don't think so. See, it says conductive rubber and flex cable are, no, okay, so I'm guessing the original little flex cable, not this flex cable. Okay. Man, it's just so much here that they're not really telling you. So can we remove this then? I mean, no, on that board. So, okay, we can't move that. All right. Now let's try to put this back together. So I guess we don't freaking need any of the stuff I was trying to put back in here. And that is... Man, I'm learning so much, man. I'm having to watch tutorials 100 times because it's so poorly done, and you know, not dogging them, but I don't like the way that they did this tutorial. I need words. I need people telling me why I need to do something. You know, I learn all different ways. Like I need it explained, I need it shown, and reading is, you know, okay, but I don't read very well. Like I'm kind of like dyslexic. So when I start reading something, I have to like really focus on it because I'm so dyslexic. So that's why I'm such a visual learner, and I can like get the grasp of it. So to make the installation easier, we already did this. Okay, we already did this. We bent it, we popped it, we locked it. We got those buttons done. All of those are Gucci. We put that back in. We put the pin in. We put it back together. Okay, so here we go. Orange kit. Okay, so we're going to use the kit screws that it came with. So, are they all the same length, I guess? I guess so. They're just slightly less long. But you can play, hey Martin, you can play Black Ops on your Ally X or your PC or whatever. I mean, you got your Ally X still, right? Or did you get rid of your Ally X? If you have any type of gaming PC, you can play your Xbox Game Pass on PC, so you get Black Ops for free. That's how I play it. I don't buy any of the Call of Duties anymore. I just get them free through Game Pass. And if you get online with Xbox, yeah, well then hey, you can play Black Ops for free on your Ally X. But yeah, I get on daily lately, and you can get points. You can redeem points to get free monthly Xbox membership. So if you do challenges and you do like random things in there, you can get free memberships. Like that's so cool. So crazy. Yeah, I got a PS5 also, but I rarely use it. I use the PS5 controller on my PC. I play Gran Turismo maybe a couple times a week for like a few minutes, but I haven't really played a lot. I've kind of like fallen off. Hey, what's up, Rexian? How's it going, man? Welcome back. Welcome back. So we don't need this, I guess. That was another question. Yeah, we're not going to need that either. So essentially just stripped all of that out of there. That's so wild. And look at that. It just clicks right back into place. You never play Gran Turismo? Oh man, it's great, dude. It's really good. It's a lot more challenging than Forza. It's more like Forza Motorsport than it is Forza Horizon. It's like Forza Motorsport meets Assetto Corsa, but way more realistic in terms of like the cars, the upgrades, and like a lot of the stuff you can do to it. It's pretty good. The tracks are really nice. It's got very good physics. It's a pretty fun game. I don't like how grindy it is though. What I mean by that is you have to constantly play all the weekly races, and you have to play all the challenges to be able to get up enough money to buy some of the cool cars that pop in the used car dealership. So that's like the only thing I don't like, is it's not as easy as Forza. Like Forza, I can buy anything I want because the races aren't that hard. Like the races are easy. But on Gran Turismo, the races are really hard. Like really, really, really hard. I feel like I need a good wheel if I'm playing Gran Turismo. Yeah, man, that's... I don't know if you guys have seen my racing sim, but I got a cheap Moza R5 setup that I built, and that is a game changer, but it doesn't work on PlayStation. It only works on PC. I was bummed because I wanted to play it on PlayStation, and I had no idea until I got it because it was really new at the time, and I didn't know anybody who had tried it yet, so I feel like I need it. All right. Yeah, we went back in time, essentially. I left the ABXY button kit, but we went back in time and I undid some of the cosmetic stuff, and now we're actually doing the trigger kit that was supposed to arrive. And it was already here, by the way. I totally missed it, but yeah, we're here. So we're putting... Ooh, that felt crunchy. Why does that feel crunchy? I'm using the screws they told me to, unless these are it. Man, they don't look. Original kit. How the fuck do I know which one is original and kit? And how do I know which ones of the kit to use? Because in the kit, there was a bunch of different size screws. Make it make sense. There was a bunch of different size screws. I hope I didn't just destroy something. I'm just gonna put some screws in here, and if they feel bad, I'll stop. Okay, those felt good. I'm rolling with it. I have no idea why these screws are not better labeled. They could have put these in individual plastic bags. I mean, like I said, guys, I told you every caveat that I come across, when I have caveats with something, even though if it was sent over for review, I'm brutally honest with people, and I don't think that just tossing a bunch of screws in a bag is a good idea, because you don't know which screw is which screw, really, especially looking at their main instructional video where it just shows a picture of a screw from a blurry angle. Like, how are you going to tell me which screw is which? I have no idea. Okay, so that feels great though. Oh my god. It's probably not picking it up on the mic, but man, does that feel glorious. So it was worth it. Not gonna lie, that to me is worth all this hassle, but it was a lot of hassle. So at least you know what you're in for when you're gonna do this mod. You know what I mean? It's not like, yeah, it's a little nerve-wracking, but we're here. So now we're gonna put all this back together, right? Right? I'm missing anything? I don't think I'm missing anything. I think I've got everything here. Yeah. So we're popping that back in. Ugh. And then we're gonna put the 2 screws in here. I'll move this off of the screen. Yeah, I'll show the racing sim off soon. I actually think I'm gonna redo some stuff in here because it's very janky. It is, like, when I say my racing sim setup is janky, it is really janky. It's held up with 2x4s and wood screws and zip ties, multiple different colors and multiple different brackets, and about 500 different screws, and my shifter assembly is held up with different 2x4s. It is really janky. It is very sketchy, but it works. It's way more solid than it was when I bought it, because I bought a clearance racing sim frame off of Amazon, and it was the worst decision I ever made. There was a reason it had bad reviews, but I didn't listen. I just wanted something. And yeah, I had to spend a lot of time bracing it, because when you turned your wheel, your entire body would flex to the left and to the right. It would feel like, yeah, it felt terrible. Broke your immersion completely. So being able to have a good racing sim setup where you're immersed in the experience is where it's at. You want to make sure you have a solid chassis. That is a very important thing. You want to make sure it's a very solid chassis. Okay, so I don't recall what screws we ran in here, so I'm just cheating here. It was one of these. Ah, no, I wouldn't tear that. We had to remove one of those anyways, so we're just being smart. We're transferring the screws here. All right. Oh, that feels so good. There is like barely any travel there. I'm going to be able to click so fast. Watch this. So, stock trigger right here. You see the length of the pull right here? Very, very long length of pull. This is why the hair triggers are so goated. So we have a bunch of travel. You ready for this? That's fully pressed down. That's literally it. I mean, how crazy is that? Let me see if I can get the mic filter off so you can actually hear it. Let me see if I can get this. Yeah, this might work. Okay. All right, so there you go. It picks it up. Here we go. This is a better shot right here. Pinky. How awesome is that, man? That was worth it. That was worth all the pain compared to that. Slop. That is mesmerizing. That is so satisfying. All right, let me put the filters back on. Okay, I think everything is back to where it was. I think. Hopefully I sound the same as I did earlier. I had to change the filter so you'd be able to hear the clicky gloriness. Ah, that's so good. All right, so now this side right here, I'm gonna blaze through this because I'm ready to get this thing back together and play some games. So that was that right here. So we're gonna take screws out. Right, and we had one other hidden screw back in here behind the green ribbon cable, so I had to pull that back to expose the hidden valley screw, hidden valley ranch screw. There we go. Now we can drop that bad boy right here, pull off plate, bing, set that over there, pull out that spring, pull out this gear. Not gonna need that. Wish some of these other videos would have been a little bit more clear and explained why we don't need those, and you know, maybe I just didn't find the right one, but we're here. So we're gonna pull out this steel rod, give it a little wiggle, pull it out, take that and wiggle it out of there. And remember, we're going to use the R2 one, I believe it was. 2R, was it? I believe it was the 2R, right? I think so. I think that was the one we needed. Uh-oh. All right, that's interesting. So we have possibly ran into another issue. me try the 1R. Oh, you know what? I'm dumb. We're replacing this. Anyways. I'm dumb. I've already done this. You guys should have caught that. I'm tired. I haven't slept. My gosh. I'm so dumb right now. I feel so dumb. Alright, we're gonna pull this out of here. We're gonna rapid fire the rest of this. Yeet that over there. And we can pop this into place. And remember, this goes in kind of crooked. So hopefully this will be a little bit easier this time. Come on. Nope. Is not much easier the second go around, simply because your brain still is fighting you to line it up the way that you think it should be. Ah, there we go. Trying to wiggle this thing into place. No, go back in your hole. Go back. It is not very easy, but I feel like I'm getting close. Maybe I need to hold it on this side. Yeah, there we go. I bet this is gonna work. This one is absolutely harder than the other side. Not gonna lie, this is frustrating because these sensors aren't lined up, and it makes your brain struggle to fit the pieces together because you have to have this thing crooked at an angle. Meanwhile, lining everything up oh, we're getting close. Got it. Oh man, not easy. Not easy at all. It's so fiddly. It's like you're fighting squirrels in a barrel. It doesn't make sense, and they're all angry. There we go. Got that in there. Ah. Whew, okay, so now that that part is done, we can grab the other housing right here and put this back in because that fell out. Luckily, that wasn't too hard to put back together. So we're gonna get ready to put this in here. Now they did kind of do this. I'm gonna try to do it their way this time. Maybe it'll work better for me. Maybe not. Howdy. How's it going, Zeno GG? Any plans on doing the ultimate modding video on the Ally X like you did with the OG? I've already done a bunch of those actually, like a ton of the ultimate Ally X mod videos. I've done so many of them, but I do think I will revise some of them because I've done the Xbox Elite Series paddles me and Kira worked on, and those are really good. I've done a few other mods. I'm working on a few mods right now that I haven't finished yet. There's a few that are in the works that I just am not super happy with just yet. So I will be bringing it back on the channel very, very soon. Maybe in the next week or two, I'll put some stuff up. I definitely have some ideas. Like I definitely have some ideas of things that I need to put back out there and show you the revised ways. Like the D-pad, there's a revision to it. The back paddle buttons, there's a revision to it. There's a few different revisions, but they're minor, and all the instructions are online anyway, so it's not like you would have to hunt very hard to find them. They're all there if you're gonna 3D print them. But yeah, I'll do that. I'll bring it back. That's a good idea. All right, so we're good here. Now we got to get our trigger back into place. And that goes in first. And that pushes down. And we got our rod. We're going to put Rod Stewart back in his hole. Yeah, man. Definitely. Thanks for the question. All right, so Rod Stewart is back in his hole now. So let's put all of this back together now, and it should... Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That went back way easier. That went back way easier. Much better. The first time it took me entirely too long, but most of that was me being very dyslexic and missing the text at the bottom of the screen. But to be fair, the search bar was in the way down here at the bottom where the you guys saw it. It was in the way, so I could not see it unless I watched the video and didn't pause it, which I like to pause videos when I'm watching tutorials. One of the reasons why I like tutorials on YouTube is because people can pause it, they can rewind it, they can watch it again, they can find out how to do the thing again. That's something that's very important to me, is having a tutorial that I can pause and watch over again. Okay, so I'm guessing this little cable just bends out of the way. That was something I didn't also see. Oh, he had it flipped under there. It's no big deal. It'd be fine. So they had it tucked underneath that one ribbon cable part, but it's totally fine. Yeah, I don't need to do that. That's just extra. I'm sure it's gonna fit in here just fine. It might not be as tidy, but you know. Yeah, I don't want to have to remove it. It should be fine. We'll find out in just a second. What I'm talking about is this ribbon cable right here, the little floppy dingly part on each side over there. You can tuck it, and I did not tuck it. Hopefully we don't regret that, but should be good. Okay. Oh, those feel so good. Now we can pop this bad boy back into place. But now would you recommend using an eGPU with the Ally X, or should I build a new rig from the ground up? Well, depends on what type of, I guess what type of budget you have, and if you have just a strong connection to the Ally X and you think you would use it like 50-50. If you're going to use it 50-50, then buy an eGPU enclosure and build your own, because if you buy an eGPU that's pre-made, they're terrible. They're not a good value. I haven't found a single one that is without caveats that is just a good bang for the buck. None of them are, no matter what anybody says. I've tried a bunch of them and they all had caveats, especially with the Ally X. I have an eGPU enclosure. I did do some like members only videos about it, but I haven't brought it back as like a full video yet, because for one, it was only a GTX 1080. It's not like super impressive, but it's a GPU I had laying around that was like dumb cheap that you could pick up on eBay and get a few extra FPS. You know, it wasn't like anything super impressive. It was more of a proof of concept than anything. If you're gonna buy an eGPU enclosure though, make sure that you get one that is Thunderbolt 4 and not Oculink, because you're not going to be able to use Oculink anyway, of course. But if you get one, like the ones that have the built-in power supplies, those are actually a better value, because if you're going to buy one and then buy a power supply, you're going to spend the same amount. So if you get one that's already got the power supply, like there's a Minis Forum one, and then there's a few other ones I can link to later, but those are going to be the GOAT, because you'll be able to put in the GPU and just go. But also keep in mind, there's a lot of caveats with eGPUs. You're not going to get near as stable of a frame rate. You're going to have issues with 1% lows dropping down a lot. You're going to have funky little driver issues where you're going to have to side load drivers, and you're going to have to like disable this, enable this. You're going to have like funky little issues depending on what type of GPU you use. NVIDIA GPUs are typically a lot easier to deal with because you can run the NVIDIA driver in tandem with the AMD driver. But if you run an AMD eGPU, you will be fighting for the GPU itself. You'll be fighting with drivers essentially. There's a good podcast that I saw where they went over all the caveats of eGPUs. 128KB, I believe is his name on YouTube. If you look up 128KB eGPU, he had like a 45-minute long podcast where him and this guy discussed the pros and cons of eGPUs on everything. So like I would strongly watch that before you invest in an eGPU, because there's a lot of things that people don't talk about when it comes to the eGPU situation. They just say it works and it's perfect, but that's not always the case. There's certain games that just don't work well on eGPUs, and you're also going to be bandwidth limited by USB 4 anyways, so you're not going to get as big of a performance, jump as you would think. It's going to be a big jump depending on what GPU you get, but it's not going to be as big as what you would get like on desktop, for example. So there's trade-offs with it. But if you're going to spend, let's say $1,000, because that's bare minimal what you're probably going to spend on a beefy enough eGPU to make you feel like you got a banger performance difference, you're going to be spending $1,000, for example. With that $1,000, you could really buy a gaming laptop or you could just save up a little bit more and you could buy all the components to build a pretty baller gaming desktop for 2 grand. For 2 grand flat, you could build a Ryzen 7 9800X 3D with an RTX 4070 Ti with 32 gigs or 48 gigs of RAM. You will be able to have an X870E motherboard. You'll be able to have a good case. You'll be able to have everything that you want for right at 2 grand. And that would blow away just about anything you could get with 5070 Ti. My bad. I maybe said 4070 Ti, but it's a 5070 Ti. So 5070 Ti, 9800X 3D, 32 or 48 gigs of RAM. It just depends on what timings you go with. If you want like the best timings possible, that 32 gig kit, it's around like 90 bucks or so. If you want to get the 48 gig kit, you're probably going to spend about 110 to 125 for that kit. Might not have as good of timings unless you spend just a little bit more. But I help a lot of people build rigs like through PC Part Picker, and I give them like build sheets and stuff, and I give them links. You know, I'll shop for you. So like if you're looking to build a rig, let me know like the time frame that you're looking at, and I'll keep an eye out for like deals coming up, or if there's something that's going to be coming out soon, I'll be able to say, hey man, this thing might be coming out soon. You might want to wait just to see what it's about, you know, like new CPU, new GPU type stuff. So right now it's a pretty decent time to build. Prices aren't going to get any better, but the availability is better right now. Like we actually are seeing stuff be in stock at MSRP. So like the 9800X 3D, a lot of those were just selling out immediately. They were gone like instantly the second they dropped. It took me a while to get my 9800X 3D. Trust me, it took a while. I had to fight for it, but you could get one all day at Best Buy, all day on Amazon. And then the motherboards themselves, you can get a great motherboard for around 200 to 250 bucks. You know, you could build a good, solid, super fast PC for 2 grand that'll last you a really, really long time. Like a real long time. And the performance difference is pretty insane coming from like an Ally X, for example. So you would be coming from doing, I don't know, 80 to 100 FPS on Black Ops 6 on the Ally X at 1080p. And that's if you're tuned and you're running the right settings, of course, because you can get worse. But running the settings I run, 90 to 110 FPS on Black Ops 1080p. Everything low though, you know, no thrills, no frills. But if you go up to a 5070 Ti and you run all the right settings, you can get 1440p, 200 plus FPS easily all day. Or you could get 4K, 120 plus FPS. Like there's an unlimited amount of possibilities because you're going to have way more VRAM. You're going to have way more RAM. You're not going to be limited. You're going to have a platform you can upgrade. So, I mean, as much as I love eGPUs, if you do it right, like if you build it right and you get the right value, to make it make sense for me, you have to go on eBay and you have to buy a used GPU, which is scary right now because a lot of people are getting scammed. So you have to look at older stuff like 30 series, 3080 Ti, just regular old 3080s, for example. You can find those kind of for okay prices. Do not get a 3070 or 3070 Ti. Those run really hot, and I think a lot of those got mined on, and they just didn't get taken care of as well as they should. And even if you do find one that was individually owned, the lack of VRAM doesn't make it worth it. You would be better off stepping up to a 4080, a used 4080 or something, or a used 3080 Ti. But if you're gonna look at something, make sure you're getting at least 12 gigs of VRAM in 2025. I wouldn't go for anything with an 8 gig VRAM limit like the 3070s and so on. So my brain's kind of fried right now. If you can't tell, I'm tired. I haven't slept, but let's keep working through this. So if you are wanting to build, like I said, just DM me on Discord at CPPC Tech. Let me know what you want, what your goals are, what you're, what you're going after for games, and I'll keep an eye out for you, man. Never know, something might pop up. Stuff pops up all the time, and I help people find deals, like crazy deals too. Sometimes you'll find a sale in the middle of the night. You never know, and then it just sells out immediately. Ryzen on 7900X. Yeah, so 7900X is actually not a bad CPU. It doesn't have that 3D V cache, so if you're going from a 7900X to like a 7800X3D, it's actually a massive performance increase in gaming performance. Now, in certain aspects, the 7900X non-X3D would be better suited for like maybe working or editing or doing non-gaming tasks. But when it comes to gaming tasks, because the X3D chips have that 3D V cache, they will blow away any other CPU out there when it comes to gaming performance. Real gaming performance is where it really matters the most for most people, so that's why they go for the X3D. But if you have an AM5 platform, then you could sell the 7900X. You could go with 9800X3D or 9900X3D. The 9900X3D is not much more. It's like $40 more sometimes on sale. So you could get a 9900X3D. It would be the same cores, the same threads, but just way more powerful for gaming. So you don't have to make the compromises. You could recoup some of the money off your old CPU. That's what I would do. Totally. All right, so we're gonna take these buttons and the membranes out. We already swapped these membranes from the kit for the Clicky face buttons, and that went on the stock white buttons here. So what I'm going to do is see how they look on the green. I don't know if I'm gonna go with the white buttons or the green buttons, but I'll let you guys decide. I'll let you guys decide. You guys can tell me what you think looks good, and I'll go with it. I'll let chat decide. I'll actually put a poll up, and I'll let you guys vote. Chat decides the next move here. Okay, so pulling all this back apart. Just remember to be careful. Don't break any clips. Take your time. I clipped this all back together, which I probably should have not done that, but you know, it is what it is. There we go. All right, so let's look at the white buttons. So I actually dig that, but let's look at the all clear. Yeah, I don't know. See, the all the same color just looks cheap to me. It looks unfinished. It doesn't look OEM. It doesn't look near as good because you're actually missing the directional arrows. And on here you have them. It looks like it's meant to be. Like it looks the part. Like it looks really cool. Now I have to figure out how to put this. There we go. I think that's right. Feels right. Okay, so let's put the rest of this back on here. I think I have to transfer a lot, actually. I think I have to transfer this little plate. I definitely have to transfer these buttons. Luckily, these buttons are really easy to transfer. Now, people were asking me a while back if the PS5 buttons would fit on the Ala X, and the answer is no. Curvatures are way off. A lot of stuff is different about them. Okay, I'm gonna have to pull those back out anyways. That was really dumb. At least I think. Yeah, this, pretty sure this comes out too. So we're gonna find out. Yeah, man, that 3D V cache makes a huge difference for gaming anyways. Like, I personally do a lot of editing, and I wish I had gotten the 98 or the 90. I wish I gotten 9900X 3D, but I just didn't have the money. I couldn't afford it. I was already squeezing out every dollar I had to get the 9800X 3D, but it was a huge difference. If you watch gaming benchmarks, not just like, you know, Time Spy and Furmark and stuff, like watch real games being tested on repeatable benchmarks where you can actually see an in-game benchmark, like Black Ops has an in-game benchmark. You can run those tests across all of the AMD platforms, and even the 7800X 3D, it's going to beat the 7900X in gaming performance because of that 3D V cache. It really does make that big of a difference. Like, it is unbelievable how much of a difference the gaming performance is in both the 1% lows, the actual overall FPS. Like, it all really adds up. It definitely adds up. I would strongly suggest watching some reviews on those, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. Okay, so we're gonna have to put the metal clippies. Where's the metal clippies? There's these metal rings that they give you. And I had them. I think I know where they are. Nope, not in there. Here they are. Metal clippy thingies. So these are going to go on this part of the controller here. I don't know exactly. Yeah, they just fit in there and go around. Okay. I was worried there was like a specific pattern that it had to fit into, but nope, there's just grooves. They're all the same. So, go ahead and run them around. And if she fits, she ships. There we go. Now the rings are in there, and you can get different color rings too, which is pretty neat. Okay, so we've got that. What other things do we have to transfer? Okay, we've got to transfer the membrane for the PlayStation button. So the cool thing about this, yes, we could go with the black logo. This is what I'm going to get you guys to vote on, because I stole the vote for, I was going to veto it anyways, but we're doing the white. Got to do the white, okay? But here's what I need you guys to vote on here. This is important. What button should we do for the PlayStation button? Because that's a tough choice. black looks kind of, you know, it's kind of cool. But I think there might be some light that shines through these. So that's what that one looks like. Because, yeah, there's... I'm trying to see how much light's actually going to come through here. I don't think there's going to be a ton. That orange glow might shine up from there, but I don't know. So we have that. We have the other little clear button there. Yeah, you guys decide. Black or the transparent. Black or transparent. Transparent purple might bring some light through, but it also has no detail for the PlayStation logo itself. It's very generic because copyright reasons. Drop in chat. 1 for black or 2 for transparent. Now, all y'all don't go vote at once. All 4 of you. 2. So you like the transparent? Is that what we were doing? Transparent for 2, 1 for black? I forgot which one it was. Which one? I don't remember. Did I say 1 for black? Black. Okay, so I don't know. I'm thinking black too. But I will say this. The reason I wanted to do the black is because we've got a little black accent right here. But I kind of wanted to do the transparent because we might have a little light shining through it. But when I started seeing the lack of detail, I'm just like, maybe we should do the black. That does make sense. So guess we're gonna go. It's a coin toss. All right. Okay. Let me find. I think I have a coin around here actually. Don't have a coin, but I do have a washer. Do B for black. So. Oh, B for black. Should have gambled on that one. Should have gambled on that one. It was not rigged. It's not rigged. But it did land on black. We should have bet big at Vegas on that. Okay, so that's Gucci. Now we've got to transfer all these other tiny little things. This mic. There we go. That was nerve-wracking. I would have lost. Glad I didn't bet. Yeah, man. It's always the times that you didn't bet, man, and you're just like, oh, so glad I didn't bet on that one, you know? That's usually how it goes for me anyways. When I'm thinking about betting on something and then I don't do it, I'm like, oh man, I'm so glad. I'm so glad I didn't bet, you know? Yeah, Martin, man, man. I know you're a really cool person, man, but I had a bad time with the Switch controllers already, and I don't like modding Switch controllers, man. I tried doing housing swaps on them before, and I broke ribbon cables and I had issues, and I don't like tinkering with Switch Joy-Cons. What I will say though, if you're looking to get a certain color Switch Joy-Con, just buy it. Just find them on eBay, or find a set of joysticks or Joy-Cons in the color you want, because by the time you pay for the mods and you pay for the service anyways, it would outweigh the benefit. So it's a lot of labor involved, but if you're handy with a screwdriver, it's not that bad, but it will drive you crazy. It'll make you want to like just buy one. Like that's where I'm at. Like this kind of stuff right here for me with the PlayStation 5, I can't buy a modded controller for anywhere close to what I would consider like outweighing this. Like this is a really, really good use of my time right now. Like I would be happy doing this again, because the outcome of this is going to be worth all of this frustration and headache and all of that. So with the Switch stuff, because those things are so cheap to begin with, and there's so many people who make them pre-modded and stuff, like there's a lot more saturation in the market, and there's less markup, I think. I would just strongly suggest finding one that's modded already. Did I install that upside down? I feel like I installed that upside down. No. And I've got to hurry. I've got to put this all back together and be done by 9 o'clock, because I wanted to raid into someone. But if we don't have enough people, it won't be too big of a raid like I expected it would, but it is what it is. It's Friday night. Everybody's out doing stuff. Everybody's hanging out with their friends and their family and stuff. Alright, so we got that. We got that with the membrane. Insane in the membrane. We'll put that back here. Okay. Now, the next step was transferring this over so I could do the white, so it's like a glacier, like two-tone thing, or we could do this. I'm kind of digging that being transparent because I like it. I like it. So let's do this. How do I separate these? Is there a... Nope, no hidden screw. It's probably double-sided tape. It's my best guess. Yeah. So, guitar pick time. Or classic razor blade time. Man, we're just chilling, bro. We're just chilling. Hope everyone is doing well. Thank you guys for tuning in. So, ooh, this does not want to come off. I'm guessing I probably... Oh, yeah, there we go. It is double-sided tape, but it would have been easier to heat this up with the heat gun. Hopefully I don't break any of this, but it totally is a little bit of a pain to get this off. So you would really ideally want to use a heat gun for this, because I'm probably going to break it. I'm I'm not super confident here. Yeah, that is not going to end well. Okay. Change of plans. I will swap this at a later time due to lack of time. We will swap that over later because it will need a heat gun. I have a heat gun. It's downstairs, and I don't feel like walking upstairs and downstairs unless I absolutely have to. My knees and my back today are so bad. Like, I just don't want to do it. So, okay. The screws that came out of here. Let's see. We're going to put this back in. Trying to figure out the best course of action. I think it was just using these little short screws. I believe it was. About to find out. Nope, that wasn't them. I think it was these. Yes. There we go. It was those. It was those. Do you know a D-pad that's compatible with the Ally X that could easily replace it without a 3D printer? Watch one of your videos and you know. Yeah, so with the Ally X, there is no off-the-shelf part that came on any other controller that will drop right in. However, there is a company or a place on Etsy that sells it. Essentially, this part right here, you have to get from the Xbox Elite Series controller, and then the magnets that go behind this come off of the Xbox Elite Series controller kit. But this blue piece right here is the part that has to be 3D printed because it's Ally specific, and no other one has the same type of like sizing and stuff. There's nothing even close that I was able to find. Because I've got a big controller collection, and I always look for stuff like that immediately when I get... Like, that's how I discovered the PS5 thumbstick caps work. Like, day one, I immediately took it apart. I saw the size. I saw the clearance, and I was like, okay, I can make these work. And that's what I did. So, anytime I get a handheld, immediately, I'm just all over finding out what parts I can use off of other devices. And I want to find... other stuff. There's probably a few other things, but for right now, that's it. Like you would have to go on Etsy and buy that, but it's not much. It's like 15 bucks. It's not much money. It's pretty cheap. And then you wouldn't need to 3D print anything because it's basically the 3D printed part for you. Okay, so how does this go back on? Or did I put it together too early? Oh, God. Is there something that needs to be printed for the PS5 thumbsticks? No. You can actually buy the ones linked in my video. You got to make sure you get those because there's a few of them that won't fit. And there's a few of them that will fit. And I've got them all linked. it's basically a drop and go solution. Like, it just works. Like, if you watch the video, you'll see how to fit it in there if you do run into any clearance issues. But overall, it should just work. Like, they didn't really need any clearancing with stock sticks. Now if you're running the Hall Effect sticks, you'll have to clearance out just a tad, you know, just a little bit, but it's not bad. Like, it takes only a few seconds with a screwdriver or a little small razor blade. You can clearance out enough to get it to fit in there real easy. All right, so I'm having a tough time figuring out how this went back in there. Let me look. So that's... Okay, so that's definitely it. So I think I know what I did wrong. I think I actually have to take these back out. There we go. I am dumb. Absolutely cooked. So hopefully this will go all back together now. And it will go like butter. Butter dog. The dog with the butter. Alright, so... now... should fit. Yes. Alright. Perfect. Fits. Alright. Starting to get a little frustrated with that. Okay, so the white housing, we have robbed all the parts off of it. Now, transfer the rest of these buttons. Oh, almost dropped all of that. I like how they fit into the place in just the right way. It's so satisfying. Just that little socket in there, like, yeah, look at that. It's perfect. Okay, so next was the membrane. Insane in the membrane. Think. Yep, it just fits in there. Could you link your Discord server? I do have one, but it is locked down. And I have it as very invite only. If you're a channel member, you'll automatically get added to it. So if you want in and you become a Discord channel member, you'll immediately get it. We had too much riffraff going on, and I like to keep it like close-knit with cool people. I've got, you know, like nearly 500 people in there right now. I'd like to keep it under 500 if possible, you know what I mean? Because the more you have, the more you have to babysit, and you have to worry what people are doing or saying, and you know, people aren't always on the up and up, and people don't always have your best interest at heart. So I have a certain a certain way that I keep things going in there. It's just chill. It's just chill. I don't like it to get political. I don't like it to get hateful. I don't want any of that. I just want to look at memes, talk about tech stuff, talk about, you know, whatever. I don't want to just sit there and obsess over the same thing every day, just insanity. Like, I'd like to see a refreshment of assortment of content and different things in there, and the people in there are really good at keeping it fresh with 3D printing stuff. Like, we all share 3D printer files, and we're helping each other out with content creation and stuff. So like, if you're a content creator, you ever want to get into content creation, like, there's a lot of people in there who just like to hang out and chill and, you know, just give tips or tuning tips and stuff, but like, no scripts, none of that stuff allowed. We just give you actual, you know, things to try, and, you know, how to diagnose hardware issues, good parts recommendations. So I've tried to keep it like super clean, because stuff does get out of hand when you're not there to watch, you know? And if I'm not there to watch, I need to trust the people who are in there. And the only way I can trust the people who are in there is to, unfortunately, put it behind a little bit of a paywall, and then also vet each person that comes in, because I have a very strict vetting process to make sure that people are on the up and up, and they're not just, you know, bad people trying to be weasels, because a lot of weasels out there. A lot of weasels out there, unfortunately. So I'm not gonna hook that mic up. I don't care. I don't use the mic, so I'm not gonna hook the mic up. Let's put everything back in here. We got to put the buttons for these. But yeah, eventually I might make another one. But if you do want to join a public Discord that I am in, I'm not in it often, but I'm part of the Handhelds United podcast and the group, and I'm one of the founding members. But like, if you wanted to join that up, that's in the description of a lot of my videos, and there's a lot of good people and big names in there you probably recognize as well. But that's a good group to join. A lot of handheld information in there. I don't frequent it as much, but if you tag me, you at me, like at CPPC Tech, I'll pop in. I pop in when I'm added, but generally I don't spend a ton of time chatting these days, because I'm just going through so many other things in life with health and with just everything. So I always try to prioritize real life first, and then get online and chat with some people and hang out and chill and have a good time when I can, and play some games, do a live stream like this, you know, just hang out with y'all. Really chill stuff, you know? That's what I like to do in my spare time. So, all right, we are looking pretty good here. The next step that I need to do is to get this little sensor thing. Where did the sensor? Okay, here it is. So I need to get this sensor thing in there. Now that was not blocked off. What was pushing through right here is the question, because I don't, maybe it was just this. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, appreciate it, man. Yeah, it's been a struggle, bro. It's been real, man. I don't really talk a ton about the health issues I have, but it's not fun. Like, I have kidney issues that I have to deal with. I have back and neck issues. recently I've been having some kidney stuff that's been getting worse, and now I'm having like knee issues and stuff. It's just like I feel like I'm falling apart. Like I'm not even 40 yet, and I literally feel like I'm 80. I don't know, man. I feel like I'm falling apart. So every day I get up is a blessing, and I just take each day, and I thank God that I'm here and I'm alive, and I got, you know, cool people to chill with, and that gets me, you know, a lot further in life. Have those moments where you just feel content, you feel chill, you got good people around you, and it's nice. But then there's those moments where you just don't feel great, and it's rough. It's really, really rough. All right, I'm confused here because this little button. Oh, I see. That's the microphone. That's the microphone cutout, or the speaker cutout. So I'm good. The faceplate little trim cover is going to cover that, so I'm good. I've been sitting here panicking, thinking that I'm missing something, that I have a part that is just not here, and I'm like, oh dude, what am I missing here? No, I'm not missing anything. I'm just, my brain is not keeping up with what I'm doing, so I have to slow it down. There we go. It's looking like it's coming together, slowly but surely. All right, go in your hole. Is there something that's holding us up? I don't think there's anything that's holding us up. I think it just needs to wiggle itself. Yeah, it's wiggling itself in. All right, I think we got it. I think we're in. Let's put some screws in here. I think that's that one. I'm gonna find out. I don't want to strip it, so I'm not gonna use an electric on it. Spin it back, spin it forward. It's questionable, but it's good enough. It's questionable, but it's definitely good enough. Let's try this other side. Maybe this screw is just a little bit better. Oh, my hand's not working. Come on. How about this one? Is this gonna go in there and not feel sketchy? Yeah, there we go. We're good. It makes me nervous when I'm putting a screw through a fresh piece of plastic that hasn't been screwed down yet, because you're essentially somewhat cutting new threads sometimes. Got back pain and joint issues, feel your brother. Man, that's truth, man. Back pain and the joint pain, as you get older, it just becomes like, man, you really understand what your parents and your grandparents were talking about, and you're just like, oh wow, I feel that now. Like, maybe I should have taken better care of myself when I was younger, or, you know, I don't know. Like, a lot of mine is just unavoidable stuff that's just happened, like just freak accidents type stuff that have caused, you know, issues and injuries. But like, I would say, like, man, if you are in good health, or you can control your health, definitely eat good, take care of yourself, because when you don't, it'll catch up to you. And any little thing that you did along the way to help will pay off dividends in the future when you're like 70 and 80 years old running marathons around people half your age. I see it all the time, and I see people in their 80s and they're lifting weights, man. They're out doing like crazy stuff, and I'm just like, dang, dude, what's the secret here? And they're like, oh, I just don't eat fast food. Like, I cook all my meals. I don't need nothing processed. And I'm like, oh, okay, wow, that's cool. a lot of the food we eat, man, is so inflammatory anyways. And it increases your pain receptors, increases inflammation. So a lot of the foods and stuff that, you know, we get are not great for our bodies. So we really should be trying to eat better, but it's hard, man, when you're on the go, or when you're not cooking for a big old family. It's actually more expensive sometimes, unless you're just really good at meal prep. Grew up way too fast, had work accents, but trust me, some of us, your lifestyle barely has an impact. Yeah, true. Yeah, I lived fast and hard too, man. I used to ride motorcycles, used to drift, used to do off-roading, man. I used to do it all, dude. Just wish you could like hold on to those forever and do those things forever. But part of, you know, getting older, you kind of have to like, okay, well, maybe I shouldn't jump off of bridges anymore and bungee jump, which I've never done. But just as an example, you know, like there's people who still do that, and I'm just like, oof, it's scary. I don't know about that, bro. All right, so we've got those screws in here. It's looking like we can put this back together. Just double checking all my connections here. Checking my ribbon cables. Oh, the battery. Found out the other day, if you don't have the battery plugged in, sometimes it won't cut on. Even with USB, it didn't want to cut on, and it had done it before, which was kind of odd. Like I had used it without the battery, at least I thought, but a lot of my other controllers I do all the time. Battery's just extra weight, bro. Nobody got time for that. And then I told you we had to put the foam in. I almost forgot the foam pad. Where is the foam pad? Foam pad. Where is it? Where is it at? Here it is. Foam pad. Will isolate the battery, or give it some cushion, or whatever you want to call it. I guess isolate's not the right word, but insulate it? I don't know. Just gonna put that over here. Boom. Very big booms. Hate the Costco guys. I don't know why, I just don't like them. Nothing against them, I just... The big booms, cringe. Cringe, bro. We're Costco guys. We eat hot dogs. Never been in a Costco, actually. Okay. This... There we go. It was fitting real snug there for a minute. I was thinking it was not about to go back together, but it did. Dang. Oh man, that is sick. That actually looks way better than I expected. Actually, with the white. Way better. I honestly did not expect that. Do you watch the dude that looks just like his father? They stream a lot. Do you watch the dude that looks just like his father? Are you talking about the guy that did the like the life thing where like he was like taking his blood or something? Is that the same guy? Like, or is that a totally different guy? I don't know. I don't know. There's so many people. But I remember there was this guy, he was like doing like blood transplants from his son, and then like he had I was looking for my other dog. My other dog's not in here. I have no idea where she is. Probably gonna have a nice surprise out there, which is not gonna be fun, but whatever. Now they're both streaming. They look just the same. I'm not sure. I haven't seen. I may have seen them, but I don't know. It's not ringing any bells right now. Said the name, I would probably know. I'm better with certain names with streamers and content creators. Just being in the tech space, you just watch tech content and YouTube all the time. So I'm sure I've ran across the name. All right, so close, so close. All right. Uh-oh. That... Well, okay. I was about to say it felt a little sloppy, but I feel like I need to do an adjustment on that. This is basically where I could easily fix this. I think absolutely easily fix this. There's just a little bit of extra wobble in here, a little side to side wobble. Yeah, I can fix that. So that's normal, really. But the clickiness is really, really good. But I think I can reduce the travel on these by putting just a tiny little bitty pad in there. I'm wondering if that might be what this is for. Because it did come with that little kit. But let me try. Yeah, I can't complain about that. That's actually really good. I actually like the little bit of side to side play because I can press it down at an angle very easily. So I do prefer that now. That's fine. If I put too much pressure on it, I'll have to hit it from the center. Probably too much, but I'll experiment with that and see what happens. I'll see if it changes anything. Might have to just tinker around with some stuff, but who knows? Who knows? So let's see. That's too much of a different color. I think... Yeah, I think this right here. Yeah. Oh, there's my dog. Hold on. Sammy, get back. Sophie, come on in here, Sammy. Come on in here. Come on. Lay down, Sophie. Alright. Sorry, dog was pawing at the door. I had to let her in. So, I'm going to pop this back into place. What I'm going to do off camera for sure is break out the heat gun. And I'm going to take this part off. And I'm going to run the clear part, basically. Yeah, man, it does look so good, man. Looks absolutely perfect. Can't wait to get rid of this. This is too much white right here. But with the clear joysticks, I think it's perfect to have these white and clear right here, because if I would have done these teal joysticks, it's just too much. It's too matchy. You know what I mean? Like if I would have done all teal, it's way too matchy. Like it would have even been better with black or smoke, like a smoke black or smoke like color, you know, would have looked good with this teal as well. So let's test out the controller now. Let's make sure it works. Yeah, it needs that contrast for sure. Okay, so let me pull up gamepad tester. Aha, and it works. Okay. Let's see if I can move this so you can see everything. Okay, everything works. Absolutely legendary. So, yeah, man, the transparent hardware thing is just, it's so timeless if you grew up in that generation, or even if you didn't, man. If you grew up in the 2000s, even now, dude, like, it's such a vibe. Like, it looks so good. Look at that. Yeah, I think the white with that turned out good. I want to redo that part. Other than that, it's goated. Can't wait to play some Black Ops with this. I wish you guys could feel this controller. I really do. Oh, I got a little part I didn't click in all the way there. But I wish you guys could feel this controller. It definitely 100% feels like a totally different controller. Like, it just, there's no comparison to this. These long triggers, there's also just, it just feels different. Like, this feels like a super solid premium high dollar controller, because now it is really, but this is just a generic run-of-the-mill PS5 controller. So I mean, you take your pick, you know. Honestly, this is the best controller I've ever probably held in my hands. Maybe if I needed one more thing, like you were saying earlier, those joysticks, the adjustable joysticks, that would be the chef's kiss. So maybe I could figure out how to get that going here for us, but that would be like so over the top. It would be unfair to every other controller on the market if I had the adjustable sticks plus everything else. Like, there's nothing in life that's perfect, but this is as close to perfect as I can get. And the reason I'm not complaining too much about the adjustable joysticks is because I just like them tight. Like, if I can get the spring tension that I want, I don't change my spring tension ever. Like, ever. I leave it, I set it, I forget it. So if these are going to give me even 5% tighter, I'm happy. Like, I don't have a problem with that. That would be ideal, but just taking the time out to do that is going to be a pain. But yeah, I grew up with PS2s, transparent PSPs. Yeah, man, it never gets old. Did you ever have the transparent Dreamcast shells? Like, I got the Dreamcast when it was like maybe 6 months old or a year old or so. My grandma bought it for me for Christmas one year, and that was like all I ever wanted. All I got. It was just like, that was it. I just want a Dreamcast. Everybody put all their money together. Let me get the Dreamcast. That's all I want. I don't want clothes. I don't want nothing. Just give me a Dreamcast. I'll handle the rest. And sure enough, man, that was till this day my favorite system. And with the Dreamcast, even still now, they sell transparent housing kits for it. They sold them back then. They were just not near as good a quality as they are today, but you could buy transparent housing kits for everything, for the controller, the VMU, everything. And then there's so many mods you could do to that. That was where I got started modding, was on the Dreamcast. That was the first system I ever modded. Funny backstory, Dreamcast mods were like really big back then, believe it or not. Like hardware mods, like physical mods. Like it was a huge deal, and I loved it. I was so deep in the modding community and doing soft mods and stuff too, with like, there was this thing back in the day called Net Zero and Juno. I don't know if you remember that, but it was free internet essentially, and you could get away for a while using the Juno and Net Zero internet on the Dreamcast, but then they started encrypting their passwords and making it like where it wouldn't work essentially, because the passwords were decrypted by the login app. And me and my buddy basically were just trying a whole bunch of password decryptors, and then we finally figured it out. Like decryption was like not a huge like crazy thing back then. Like a lot of programs and ISPs kind of like shared some of the same ones. It wasn't like all proprietary crazy NASA level stuff. Like it was very low level. So we were able to figure it out, and then like we started telling other people online about it, and they started figuring it out, and they were like, yo, this is awesome. And then yeah, I mean, that was back in the day when everybody had dial-up, and that was it. Like you had to dial up to the internet on the Dreamcast, and you could play your friends online and Quake. That's what we did. We just played Quake and Duke Nukem on 56K dial-up internet. Good old junk internet, but it was free, and it was worth it. It was fun. It was so fun. Those days were great. But yeah, PSPs. I remember in middle school when those came out, we had those and we started modding them and doing the transparent shells and doing the custom firmware CFW and putting all the emulators for Nintendo and Super Nintendo, and that was really rad. Because back then it wasn't like as crazy it is now with PSPs. Like there's a lot more on the scene for emulation, but the early like PSP 1000s and stuff like that were like real basic for the emulation possibilities. Like you could do Nintendo stuff easily, and then you could do some PlayStation stuff, but that was like it, you know, like everybody had one. That was the system to have. And then the PlayStation came out and that just started dominating. But I actually didn't get a PS2 until way later. I think when the PS3 was coming out, like it was getting close to coming out, or it was like being talked about, that's when I got my PS2. I bought it from a buddy of mine used. He was a beta tester for Sony, and he basically just didn't need it anymore because he didn't do the beta testing program anymore. He had gone back to college and got a job and was just like, I'm over it, I'll sell it, I'll give it to you dirt cheap. And I bought it, and I think I still have like some of the beta disc that he gave with it for like Final Fantasy. There was like a Final Fantasy beta disc, and then there was like a few other ones. Like I still have those in a binder somewhere. And then the hard drive kit. He had the hard drive kit before anybody even like had them. Like it was just like, it was a thing that he got, and I was like, whoa, that's freaking dope. And then we figured out how to put Linux on it. It's so cool. But yeah, guys, let me check and see if who's streaming. I want to raid into somebody, so let's see if I can change that real quick. I might stream for a few more. I don't know. It just really depends if anybody's even gonna be online right now. What y'all got going on the rest of the night? Anybody doing anything interesting or fun? Oh yeah, Pippa react to street racing. Let's go. Oh heck yeah. Let's go. Street racing react content for the win. Absolutely yes, please. Okay, let me figure this out. All right. Manage broadcast. Stream settings. Edit. Customization. Redirect. There we go. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to send you guys off to Pippa. Good old Pipkin Pippa. And send you off to her. And I know there's not many of you here, but if you don't know, she is super duper bass. She is super chill. And she's going to be doing some car content. So if you guys go over and just say howdy. That's all you got to do. Just pop in, say howdy. I'm going to go ahead and ship you guys off to Pipkin Pippa. So thank you guys for hanging out. I really greatly appreciate each and every one of you. If you're here now, if you're watching the VOD, whatever, doesn't matter. You're here. That's all that matters. And I really greatly appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Really greatly appreciate it. Like I said, as always, if there's anything you need, reach out, DM me on Discord. Don't hesitate. If you guys need computer hardware advice, or if you're looking for specific stuff, you know, I got you always, like, no questions asked. But yeah, that's about it. I was trying to think if there was anything else I needed. Oh yeah, that's right. So there was somebody I forgot. Oh, I forgot. I'm gonna have to make a video for this person. I don't know if you're in chat or not, but you were asking about the height mod for the 420mm AIO. Hang tight. I'll break out my tape measure and I'll break out the tools and I'll measure it out. I'll show you where you need to cut, and then you'll have a much better idea of what you need to do to see if yours is going to fit or not. Because I cut that bottom part out, which you'll see, and it gave me just enough room to fit fans in there. If I wanted to fit an AIO and fans, I would just have to cut it back towards me further, deeper, basically. What you would want to do, hopefully you're watching this, but measure the length of your AIO and let me know the length of it, or tell me what model it is. Just DM me and tell me what model it is, and I can look that up and see if it's going to fit before you start cutting anything. Since I have mine opened up, I can actually go ahead and tell you if it'll fit or not. I can just pop my tape measure in there and say, yeah, it's going to fit, or no, it's not going to fit. So, but anyways, guys, I am going to head off. I know I keep saying that, but you know, I really appreciate you guys. I really, really do. Thank you. Thank you all so much. Been a pleasure. But let me go ahead and click this right here. Save. And trying to make sure got everything set up. Okay. So yeah, we're good. All right, guys. Well, look, I guess it's going to raid into Pippa. Hopefully it does. And go in there and just say howdy. So until the next one, guys, I'll try to go live again soon. But I hope you have a good afternoon, good evening, or good night.